pretty jaw-dropping if there was a reverse sweep, to be completely honest with you, though. From the form that we saw Grayhound in map number 1, from the form that we've seen them against Encore, you know, is a little bit shaky, I guess you could say, but for what they were able to deliver overseas as well, it's been a very long time since they've dropped something locally, so we'll wait and see if it's going to happen. And I mean, you could kind of also say that VERTEX, it's been a while since they've lost anything locally on that big old match streak, but however, they didn't have to face against Grayhound, who now are actually, as we get into things, going to look to lose the pistol.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not.
1 minute late, but look, everything good happens 1 minute late, and 1v1s happen, you know, with 30 seconds left in the round. So it's pretty much like you didn't miss anything. This is what we're here for.
Malta's going to hear him eventually, and Malta doesn't have any Kevlar. Not that it would protect your noggin, but the challenge is certainly here. Malta doesn't have to continue for the fight, but if he falls off completely, he would have lost the bomb. Disregard the statement, though, as he removes Inz's face.
Not a bad start. Playing the objective worked wonderfully, and VERTEX are going to get off on the right foot this time, taking the pistol, and Grayhound didn't get a plant either, so they're probably not going to be forcing here in the second round, whereas VERTEX, they're going to be getting those juicy SMGs and plenty of util to lock down the map.
Not too often we saw Grayhound actually have to go into Samikos in the previous series, or rather map Mac. So I guess you could say a breath of fresh air to see how they tackle them, what their mindset kind of is. Of course, a map like Inferno, you generally know that it's Grayhound being familiar with it like the back of their hand. So we will wait and see when the gun rounds do come for them what their T side is going to look like. But for right now, we're in VERTEX's territory.
Ooh. Certainly are. And PZ, get that nade, which should get value out. Just destroyed from that one. Easy pickings for hazr. And aggression coming through the banana extremity as well. As you do see Grayhound just lick their wounds again. Look to regroup in apps and try to keep it close range with the Glocks. But there's probably no getting out here. ADDICT, bit of a whiffy, gets that second opportunity and takes it with open arms. Vexite now. Ooh, he got lost. He got lost in the sauce.
In the sauce, that's in a few weeks, right? Gonna be waiting for that one. But
no, that's the sauce. We've been in the sauce for ages, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Gun round, though, for Grayhound now. So we'll be seeing what they can do, as I did make mention to. Lots of utility to come through as well. But for VERTEX, these submachine guns are definitely here in spades. 4 of them, in fact. You got PZ with the FAMAS for a little bit of that longer line coverage, which is very interesting that he chooses to deploy that one into apartments. However, that is where Grayhound are currently going. So if he can find an opening kill, that would be pretty solid.
Large smoke coming through. Grayhound signaling. They're looking for this bracket control. Good timing for that molly to be answered. We are going to see a molly forcing PZ forward. He's in a bit of a rough spot now. Nade towards mid to try to help him live. That smoking boiler is definitely a saving grace for the moment. VERTEX relinquish that position. Ins as well going to be heard with that tag on the molly. Retake util from VERTEX is strong, and so is that banana control. And Grayhound don't have a huge amount of util to get in the site here, but they finally found bracket.
This is where things get a little bit spicy. hazr over at Archers, but a couple of other members towards the pit and under Balk. A well-placed grenade can soften up Grayhound, but these submachine guns get pretty potent when they get closer.
Slow wrap coming through. A couple of flashes aren't going to be used. It's just going to be this full contact wrapping into sight. Nice smoke as well to allow this aggression from Archers. hazr, though, going to be able to tear through him. 2 found with the MP9, but the rest falling as well. And PZ now just looking to buy as much time as he can, but he's an offer for a reason. I'll tell you that much. 1v3 angle now for Malta as Brace gets donked. And it's not looking good for all the VERTEX fans out there this round.
A second to spare, Mac. The difference in this round, Grayhound could not have afforded themselves Another second to lose in that one. Malta for a 1 versus 3, albeit 2 players relatively low. The bomb's already ticked away half. He's got no smoke or flashes, just that incendiary. And it already does look like Liazz has an idea where he is. Alistair loses his life. So at the end of the day, that's some decent damage that VERTEX are able to chip off of Grayhound. But it does mean that Grayhound are on the board now.
Yeah, good playing the long game, but sometimes it's more about the short game. What you can do now rather is what you can do later. And I feel like that's where we've seen a couple of teams fall short in the last couple of weeks. You know, when Grayhound gets off to these rounds, these streaks of rounds where they just get like 10 out of nowhere, that's when things get really bloody dangerous. And at least, you know, VERTEX started strong, but now is what I'm worried about is what can they do from here?
It's always the interesting thing when we see a team in our region get that far ahead. Usually it's Grayhound if like you think would be the team to get that far ahead or would be able to mount a comeback if they were that far below. It's only a handful of other teams that you really feel like if they're going against the top echelon teams that would actually be able to have a feat like that in a consistent fashion rather, you know, disregard any real outliers. But the status quo, Grayhound are going to be looking for the second round here, as VERTEX didn't go in with a full purchase, of course. Just down onto these 5.7s, the Deagle and the USP. A bit of a stacking towards the Bravo site here, as Greyhounds start to put a couple of their eyes towards A. It is just ADDICT here for the time being.
In's playing a sneaky game, but again, you know, pressure on both extremities. They will potentially find the weak site at some point. Bit of a shift coming through from the B site members. Malta just sitting in the darkness, waiting to see something. He has the 5.7, looks good. That flash has forced him back now, deep onto Ali, and this round might be going south real quick. Big picks coming through as Vexite lends the assist onto PZ, and so Brace is not going to be cleared in the corner either. No time. Grayhound leave it too late, and Liazz on this lurk finds no impact at all. But look, he's got a gun, all right, and he might be the only one with a gun going into the next.
One of the four-legged friends in this match has found themselves in the wrong territory. That is a bit of a blunder for Grayhound, as that was just pistols for VERTEX, Mac. And you think when Grayhound are looking to go to the A site that everything's looking peachy. Apparently not. Back towards B. And it goes from bad to worse. So VERTEX getting around that they are lucky to have a little bit on their side. As now it's a very interesting state of affair for Grayhound. 2 Galils, an AK, couple of pistols. And a real challenge to try to find some clean space. Not a lot of utility to clear a bunch of angles, so they have to sacrifice bodies and potential HP for that. Likewise can be said for VERTEX, who aren't really going for any forward peaks of their own.
Damn good. Keeps his teammate alive, but costs him his life in the process. Good trade starting to come through from Grayhound. Has it too. Finds Ins. Lurking his way in from the smoke. Speaking of smokes, PZ drops one, but it cost him his life to do so. And that is going to be the site taken. But still, VERTEX. A little old think about it. That molly has not gone to the right position. Goes up on the roof instead and won't get any value for money.
Yeah, so I guess there was enough for Greyhounds to get into the A site, courtesy of Sicko, getting some quality frags, a great spray down as well. I thought he was completely blinded, but the kill feed said differently. So nicely done for himself. At least 2 guns surviving for VERTEX on the flip side. With all the money that hazr has stored, and for Brace as well, they'll be able to juggle some cash around, juggle some weaponry, and be able to get a good purchase. Now, Sicko's lost his life to the bomb. Liazz was very lucky to survive with 3. say very lucky. It's a known factor on that radius, how much damage you'll take. But regardless, it's 2 guns up at the end of that one for Grayhound, which means their reinvestments are going to be a little bit lighter touch as well. So do see the first time out used by VERTEX here. Happy enough to use all 4 in the previous map on Nuke. Probably would expect the same thing come Inferno if needed.
What do we got here? Cheeky old tactical coming through from VERTEX and a full buy for both regards. Let's see. It looks like they're having a chat as to what they want to do. I don't think... No, we are going to see that early triple B setup. Brace might just leave some of that util and send it back the other direction, but we'll see where they opt to go. And Grayhound 2, what are they doing? Looking like it's just a bit of a default 2 towards second. And no one really looking to contest Banana.
Yeah.
His way in right at the boom there.
That's something that I wanted to touch about. Both teams not really going too heavy on Banana presence at the moment. So I was expecting that to come around when the guns were going to be a bit more present. This time Grayhound are going to be winning that from our position with that radar. Of course, we can see that Inns is just going to be lurking about, waiting for the smokes to fade. Not going to be seeing any util thrown from VERTEX for the time being. It's PZ on the dig line with the AWP. Good molly, good flash. Force him off. But the first kill goes Hazard's way.
Good trade. Ali stopping hazr from escaping there. And Sicko taking his moment to smack it midway. Straight through CT. He might catch Malta in transition. He will. Not expecting him so far advanced already. Embrace the sole survivor on the B side of the map as Grayhound start to work this pincer, work this banana control. Sicko making a world of noise. Waiting for a rotate from any of the A site members.
Yeah.
If Brace finds this just in time. Oh, okay. Now there's a chance in the round. Good flash towards CT. And the smoke for good measure. 3v3, an opportunity for VERTEX.
Well, we'll have to see what damage Brace is going to be able to do. Not on the utility department, unfortunately. So he's just going to have to wait for his teammates. He can set up a smoke. He can set up a flash. Potentially isolate an angle for the boys to get in. But not before they have to have a duel with Liazz.
Big shots. Nice trade. And in the 2v2, it's still anyone's round right now. Molly towards banana side. PZ wants to save his smoke for the bomb if necessary. They're respecting that molly. And PZ's gone up over the top now. Big shots. And Grayhound find a third and equalize nice and early. Keeping it real close on their T side here.
Give you a scoreline update as well, Mac, for map number 1 on the Rooster versus Encore game. Roosters managed to take that one 16-14 on Nuke.
That's close.
However, at one point it was 15-8. They had that lead. The comeback was mounted by Encore, but it was that last one that bit them.
I don't know what you're talking about. Encore only have fake comebacks.
Yeah.
We saw that earlier.
Indeed. Unfortunate. But the game ahead of us, of course, it is going to be the USPs this time for VERTEX. So far, their eco track record has been pretty good in this one. And, well, if it continues this way, it's going to go even better.
Ooh, lots of noise coming in through the rotation and in with a Mac 10.
Oh.
Has the gun to succeed in an angle like that, but he'll find 2 and at least buy himself another Mackie in the next round. As we are going to see Grayhound go for the full wrap. Numbers were found, and Grayhound knows that there's so much space on A.
Open plant. A good one. Kind of just want to see VERTEX throwing the Mac 10 and this USP at it for some damage. If they do give Liazz the kills, however, it'll just be a bit of extra good money for him. There's a molly on the floor behind him too.
Battle of the Mackies. Liazz. He'll come out on top.
Good flash.
That's going to be bank. That's going to be cash money. A round for Grayhound means they've taken the lead. 4-3 at the moment.
Yep, gun round though to come through for VERTEX, and this is where I want to see what they're going to be able to do. Do we get the old true tried tested banana battle between the CTs and Ts here, or is one team just going to give it on over? Of course, PZ doesn't have an AWP to go for any illustrious early peak, either at mid with a boost or run boost, or potentially over a banana with that wall boost, or just getting towards the car. So gonna have to kind of give up the bag on that one. Although it's pretty quick from Sicko and no one can trade him, Mac. Oh dear.
Malta's hidden.
Yeah.
This weird smoke at the half wall. Brace just drawing attention. And they seem to be aware that Sicko's somewhere, but who wins this one?
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be aware that Malta loves a little liquid in the smoke there, and he's going to win for one. Backup's coming, and so is that util, but Vexite just going for the jump shot. The absolute nuisance, and they've somehow turned that into a 1v2, or 1-4-2.
He's a madman. Would you expect hazr to be posted in at dark at the moment, however? It is going to have to be a corner to be cleared. And I am actually wondering, was that smoke, the furious smoke, thrown by VERTEX to have that one way at the car, or was it actually one that Grayhound threw as a sort of prog? It'd be an interesting prog smoke if it was one that they did throw. Usually you'd want to land that one at the closer half wall before exploding, but regardless, it's a 3 versus 3. Damage has been delivered to the Grayhound lads.
Yeah, I don't think it looked like
more
Furia
so.
from
No, it didn't.
where it was.
So it was a bit of a weird one. Anyways, 40 seconds, and hazr has everything here to play for.
Well, flash forward, Vexite. Going for the hard clear on the left side of sight, but they haven't gone towards the backside just yet. Hazr up. Dink got a Vexite, putting him down to 1 point of health, and that's going to be a solid hold. 3 big kills from him, all the way there at dark on the back of sight, and we have a tied game again, 4 apiece.
That's twice now Grayhound haven't cleared somebody playing on the B side of this map, right? First it was Brace who was able to close down the round on the eco, and now it's hazr who gets 3 individual 1v1s that he is able to come out victorious on. So a very well placed round from VERTEX, making a little bit more substance to this map than we did get on Nuke. So I absolutely do love to see that. It's going to be another one of these strange purchases to come through from Grayhound. You got Ali on the AWP, you got some AKs, you got Sicko on the Tech 9, who might actually go and get that AWP now because Ali is dead.
Everyone's slowing down. And at the minute mark, you'll see Grayhound start to take this bracket control. Not too worried about Banana. VERTEX throwing that retake set. Grayhound aware of it, so we'll see how much they push the point here towards the A side of the map, knowing they've just lost anything at B, although they were happy to give that up.
Very silent approach from Grayhound. As you've made mention to, this is going to look to be an explosion, though, at the A site. Vexite does have that singular flashbang. They technically have numbers here at AMAC, but they are still a player down overall.
Cheeky smoke.
Pit smoke.
Vexite not going to pop that banger just yet. ADDICT. The balcony. Let's see if he gets cleared. Nice entry onto hazr. PZ drawing attention, allows ADDICT to try and double it up now, but man's fallen into Mini, and they've taken 2 apiece and locked down a 5th and taken back the lead from Grayhound.
That's very nice, actually, from VERTEX. A great hold. Flashbang goes a little bit awry for Vexite, but it just means that the trade's there for ADDICT to be able to drop down from the balcony. Very wise to the fact on how to redeploy that one, and it always goes a long way when you got a teammate on the site that can hold their own too, right? So very nicely done from VERTEX. The difference potentially if Grayhound had just a small extra bit of utility, you know, another smoke or another flash potentially has a different outcome there. But once more, VERTEX with the lead, and it's going to be these Glocks for Grayhound. See what damage they can deliver. See if anyone from VERTEX get a little bit too hot under the collar, but Malta starts off on the Vexite. Some extra damage on towards Inns. At the end of the day, it is just these Glocks, remember?
Well, we did see Grayhound win one of these over on Nuke, which is going to be hard for VERTEX to watch back. They probably just won't even think about it. And PZ spreads that needle in a bad way. And there's going to be numbers run at PZ. He's only got the AWP. Pulls out the secondary, so it's USP up against the Glock now. And PZ is screaming for reinforcements. They will come through. Ali, he'll fall. He got a little bit of saliva running down his chin when he saw that AWP on the ground. But look, great rotations coming through from VERTEX to mop up scraps.
This is the Counter-Strike that I was kind of, I guess, hoping for, Mac, but it's a little bit awkward in the fact that we keep getting these ecos and they keep getting a little bit weird from both of these teams, a little bit squirrely.
Yeah.
But maybe that's where, you know, we've had our fun. Now it's time for Grayhound to just bask in the sun, or potentially VERTEX to just continue on and get a good tan here on Inferno. Lots of utility. Again, that's what you want to see. Utility, economy for VERTEX is looking good for a reinvestment if they do drop this one. Can't say the same for Grayhound. That loss bonus starting to build up, but not enough for a good one. So the first pick is going to be very vital for both of these sides at the moment. Alistair not on the AWP. Everybody rocking the AKs. And once again for VERTEX, it is this 3-player deployment up towards the A side of the map. Nice timing molly from a hazr. But it's looking to be this apartments area that will be the first duel fought. And won by VERTEX.
PZ. Good balls to hold that line for long enough. ADDICT as well on the short side is able to stop too much damage from happening. But this is all happening as well. That bracket control has been found by Grayhound. But it looks like VERTEX aren't done fighting just yet. And Ali playing a dangerous game alone as we see Inns move forward into Malta there. He's got an extra molly to buy some time for Brace to send it back. And this round is locked on every single part of the map by VERTEX.
It's looking pretty good for VERTEX, in great form on this CT side, looking to at least claim the half. On the back of this round, they'll be one away from doing just that. Then with 20 seconds to go, Mac, Vexite's already heading for the spawn to save. Maybe he wants to play a little bit of tic-tac-toe on the floor, but he's got no buddies to do that one with. So, Grayhound, I wouldn't mind a timeout from them soon. I wouldn't mind a bit of extra time for them to have a good discussion, because we know, clinically, we've heard the saying time and time again in our region. It's Inferno. And Inns is still the one leading on the kill department for Grayhound. He's the one pivoting the players everywhere. But for right now, VERTEX, you look at them, and hazr's shooting up. You've got Brace doing God's work on the leadership department right now.
Yeah.
Like, things are going good for VERTEX. There's no other way to kind of argue that.
Well, where to here in round 12? Forsey around the save. Grayhound as well. Only going to be sending Liazz to spawn. Someone's left something somewhere. Might have been a little bit of util there. You can see he's picked up a smoke of sorts. Grayhound thinking about going for some banana control, but PZ posted is going to be picking them off before they get an opportunity to take anything. And Malta's found a little spam in through that smoke as well. So things already looking rough for Grayhound this round.
We'll see what Vexite and Alistair are going to be able to do. Some timing, but Brace able to cut Vexite down to size. And without too much riding for Grayhound here, it should be a pretty easy finish for the VERTEX lads.
Ali. Oh, playing a dangerous game, and he's dropped that bomb towards Dawn too. But you got to have a bit of a risk to find some kind of reward and an avenue back into the round, and it didn't quite work out for Grayhound this time. But look, it's certainly working for VERTEX here on the CT side of Inferno. Of course, you know, it is this battle of two halves. So far so good. If Grayhound can find 2 more here in the first half somehow, then look, I'm still feeling like it could be this 2-0, but
yeah,
for the VERTEX on a bit of a tear.
Absolutely, securing the half on the CT side. I'm just hoping that we do get a good T side from them, regardless of the final scoreline here, which is what Grayhound are going to be trying to challenge and get close to. In's already being taken down to 21. Maybe we'll see a world in which they change weapons and plays a little bit of that betterment with the AWP, which is exactly what has happened.
Nade it mid. Good value again. PZ, AWP boiler, and is going to try to escape the footsteps. They haven't caught Liazz off guard. As ADDICT tried to make an aggressive maneuver. Now only 4v4, Grayhound knows that they should have some kind of advantage, but they're not going to roll towards A just yet. They want some more info.
And the problem with this, waiting out the time, you've got Malta pushing down Banana as well, and that's a missed shot. Inns Could have upset the balance for Greyhound's favor in this one, but as Alistair does fall against Brace, it means that there's 3 CTs around this A side at the moment. Liazz, it's all Liazz though. Mac, he's looking to do him dirty. Brace at least to equalize. And this is where you might expect the bomb to go down and switch to a post plant.
Let's see how this re-wrap goes in through the halls. Liazz expecting an aggressive play with this prog smoke coming through, and Sicko, he'll just fully clear out Dig now. Squeezing every second here, and Malta going to be forced right back to the arch side. Good molly from Liazz to get a chunk of change done onto
10
Malta.
seconds to get this plant, though. If there's any collapse from the Vertex lads, it could have been good. Yeah, but it's a little bit too late. Bomb goes down. Sicko finds Brace. It's all onto the 1 versus 1. The sidearms are both pulled out at the moment, but it's Malta to get the job done in the end.
Mate, it's never too late.
Oh.
Big retake. And Malta sending the message as well. Oh, look, the ragdoll didn't work out on our screens, Malta, but I believe that, you know, you put the crown on him. He was the king. But the king has fallen, it seems. So that's going to be 9 on the board for Vertex, who are looking pretty good to take a 10th. Greyhound, though, with the round loss bonus, are going to be buying up again.
King dethroned. See if he's going to rise again a little bit later. It's going to be the purchase up from Greyhound here, at least. Having a bit of a tough time, all things considered, to get some things working their way. A lot of these rounds coming down to sub 10 seconds as well, that, you know, you kind of just want to see Greyhound give themselves a little bit extra breathing room to get themselves set up in a potential post plant, or maybe even win the round before that. But it's a bit quicker up through the guts of mid with haste to archers.
Oh,
now PZ on the line. He didn't know they were there already, but they've heard him.
How's they going to be able to stop one and slow things down with that nade? But with the picks into CT, it might just be the full reroute. But for now, they are committed to the push, committed to the A site, and that is potentially the round in the bag already. Change in pace, looking very refreshing for Greyhound there.
Damage though. You got to be careful. 4 guns would have been better than 3. So we'll see what extra damage Malta and Brace can do if they're going to do anything. Brace is still looking to read some books in the library, but that smoke might have just afforded him an exit plan. He waits for the tail end of this smoke to fade, and with Malta pushing top mid, they are certainly looking for damage. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Makes Greyhound more difficult to play, or easier to play with in the next round. Oh, that is big.
And Liazz, he knows that they can't win the round, and we'll keep an AK into the next. Yeah, they're pretty right to buy, but look, I don't think Ali was looking for an AWP anyway. In terms of the util, there's going to have to be a couple of L's copped by some of these members. The Lils, maybe even some SMGs across the board here.
Yeah, last round of the half. So whether it would be 9-6, which would be better for Greyhound switching to CT, or 10-5, which Vertex would be pretty happy with, all things considered. That's what we will be deciding in this one. Again, banana control. This time Vertex putting a couple of numbers there early. Single incendiary placed out by Greyhound, but it does provide Malta the assurance to get into the broom. Let's tuck away. Wait with that deeper smoke as well, and it is just going to fashion Greyhound to try and get some space of their own over to the A side of the map, which is better stacked by Vertex.
5 mollies used by Vertex within the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Greyhound surely counting those, but that banana control is going to be extremely difficult. Molly towards Dig side, so yeah, they got bracket, but Vertex, they've got a big read on what's happening here.
And light on the util now as well. A minute 10. ADDICT finds first blood onto Ins. That is a big soldier down.
Nice movement to get out. Oh, flash was good for 1, but it hasn't allowed him onto sight. Solid crossfire, the full turtle, and hazr isn't missing too much right now. Sicko can't get past him either, and he'll stand, he'll try and deliver as Liazz hits the ground run, and that's going to be the double digits found for Vertex in the first half, and we've got a second half to get to. Ladies and gents, we'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the second half as VERTEX are up by 5 going into the second half of Inferno. I feel like a few people are surprised, but VERTEX definitely deserving of this position, playing out of their minds at the moment. Let's see if it continues.
That's the big caveat, isn't it? If it continues, if they're going to be able to continue on this path right now, because Grayhound CT side has been able to put up some massive defenses and comebacks in the past on this one. So if they can peel away with a pistol first, that would be certainly well placed. However, they're on the wrong bomb site when it comes to player advantages, and Liazz is already looking to fall back. You've got Ali here too, Mac.
Yeah, interesting smoke. I don't know if that was intentional, but either way, it has allowed the wrap to start to come out and gets VERTEX onto site. So I'm liking the way that they've used this util. I'm liking how they found the position, but they've lost a little bit of horse control and have to fight together on site. ADDICT going to be cracking some heads open. PZ, quick one onto Ali, and this round might be roasted. Sicko, 1v3 angle. It's always been a bit of a pistol aficionado, but not this time. Was very much expecting someone to pop their head up there at mini pit, but never happened. And VERTEX, taking both pistols this game, have definitely set themselves up for success.
Yeah, that was pretty potent to come through from ADDICT. 3 on the Glock very swiftly as well. That's got to hurt for Greyhound. Not able to find their footing in the lion's share of rounds so far when it comes to Inferno here. So Vertigo, potentially, maybe that's where some people are going to be shifting their minds. Right now, though, we've still got a secondary half to be able to play with, and we know that we're going to have a good, strong purchase of weapons for Greyhound in the next. Again, though, this is going to be the time for VERTEX to find a 12 to get a 7-round lead. And for a couple of these lighter submachine guys to get some damage. And look at that.
Planted a couple of seeds before that one. Jeez. Well, quick one is a good one, I've heard. And that is going to be money. ADDICT's fine on 3. Brace, 1,200 in the bank. And that is going to be a 12th round. So 7-round lead now, Greyhound. Going into the guns, let's see what they try to work with in optimizing or prioritizing rather that util instead of the weaponry. And we are going to see an early stack just to lend a helping hand towards the B side.
Yeah, I think I'm more interested in what VERTEX's strategy is going to be come T side, because they've gotten the first 2 rounds out of the way. There's not too much of a buy to come through from Greyhound. You've gotten a 1-to-1 trade up through Dig. This is so much quicker than we saw from Greyhound on their T side. And VERTEX, look at the space they've got surrounding this A site now. You've even got Malta pushing CT.
It works out. It's just chaos going everywhere, not allowing Greyhound to get those bombs going, and big pick as well with the MP7. Free upgrade for PZ, and VERTEX are going to be extremely happy with this one. Inns maybe looking for a bit of damage himself, make some noise here towards bracket, but hazr HP is going to rejoin the troops on site. And 2-man save is going to be coming through. So Greyhound definitely in a high pressure position right now.
Yeah, VERTEX's decision-making has been pretty brutal in this one. A lot of their rounds they've been able to gather by some split-second decision-making, and they've ended up on top of it. You know, a couple of their rounds as well, when they have pretty much no into a round, it just comes to Greyhound slipping up a little bit as well. You know, you think back to the rounds over at that B site where hazr was able to pull off that 1 versus 3 essentially to close down the round. Before that, where Brace was able to just deny the plant from going down because second orange just wasn't cleared. So it's just these small little things that is really costing Greyhound the map looking something like an 11-8 or an 11-9, something like that at this point in time, to being a 13-5.
Well, let's see if the timeout helped him out in one way, shape, or form. Early smoke towards mid. Trying to force VERTEX to do something a little bit sneaky, but VERTEX playing their own game. Not too worried about the mid smoke or a peek into second. And that nade not going to get too much value. We'll chip away at hazr barely. But the banana control is there. And Greyhound are already really damn thin on the util.
Yeah, they are probably going to have to cut a corner or so if they want to get some information, because you look at the space that VERTEX has. It's all of mid. It's nearing brackets with the smoke that's just been deployed. It's all of banana. Just the domain control that VERTEX are being able to find and to hold on their slower rounds. They did it well on the CT side as well. it's just pushing Greyhound into a corner, and usually those corners you want util to bail yourself out. There's not much there that can be said for Greyhound, so this is going to be huge to pull rotations to the A site from the T's. Kind of just waiting to see if Alistair's going to peek up, if XS's going to prop that flash for him. 40 seconds to go, though. We haven't really seen any movement over at B as well. That's where the bomb is, at the bottom of Banana, and where you would probably expect things to actually end up here.
Well, Greyhound have fully cleared out bracket with 30 seconds on the clock, so they are going to send Alistair to the right side and just turtle up with that pit and sight crossfire, but it won't matter too much here. VERTEX are committing to B. Ali's going back to A for some reason, and maybe there was a tell, maybe they thought it was a fake. Either way, there's going to be a B site in the hands of VERTEX. Have the numbers advantage, but there's a gap and Malta's found ins. It's awkward, but it's working.
Yeah, 3 versus 3. Single flash from Vex side. He held on to it and didn't use it for Ali over at A. He's got to use it over at B, and that is some great spam for Malta. That's 2 through that smoke this time.
Vex not going to be given anything. Time is slowly ticking away. And even with the flashes, they're not going to use them. They're just going to try and go dry. But Malta is tearing them to shreds right now. Man wants it. And there is still an opportunity, but Ali... he slid out of there. And will survive in CT. And he needs this weapon because there's going to be, not a whole bunch of cash in the next for Greyhound to reinvest. Oof.
This is not what I expected to be a scoreline on a map that when you think Greyhound, you usually think. At least in my review, right? So this is VERTEX seriously swinging with full power behind the bat, and they've hit a couple of home runs in one. It's not over just yet, but if this round does go all right, Greyhound are going to be staring down the barrel of a pretty high vertigo.
Still a third map, of course, that needs to be played if VERTEX take this one. And that's another opportunity for Greyhound to fix up what's going on. So maybe they're mentally a little bit gone. Maybe, something else is going wrong and we just don't know about it. By the way, 1 for 1, nice and early here in the 20th. And Greyhound are certainly forcing a couple of fights there towards the second mid position. And they've even managed to slide Sicko super far forward. So looks like retake A is going to be the play and a bit of a cheat towards that B site for the rest of the Greyhound troops. They're looking for him here.
Yeah. This is very cheeky from Sicko. Malta down, and that throws a big spanner in the works. Because Sicko could get taken down by Braze. Yeah, not expecting that one. Maybe a little bit of an overheat there to come through from Sicko after finding it. But at 3 versus 3, this is still achievable. If VERTEX go to try and take a challenge over at the site that is more prominently stacked, that being B, they could be up for a bit of a challenge. But if they continue to slowly waltz towards A, all going to come down to what Liazz can actually do. Does he keep himself tucked in? He's got no utility. You probably hope for him to find 2 kills at best.
Let's see if he gets hard cleared in a solid position. Nice reaction from hazr to hit that one.
Ouch. That is brutal. Yeah. They're going to give it a bit of a crack for a couple of seconds. Okay, Kits, Molly, Smoke and a HE all deployed. Molly was good on the hazr to dislodge him. PZ's down. They spotted out where hazr is as well. This is a risky retake from the lads at Greyhound, but it's all onto ins. A 1 versus 2. hazr first. Now Brace hasn't revealed himself, but now they know where he is. The Molly through a preemptive smoke, and the shots from ins. Wow, the retake is good. Okay, Greyhound are holding on. Not 15 yet for VERTEX.
Ins has activated just when it was necessary. Bit of a misread there from Sicko, thinking that was the only player at second and that he could escape. But look, it's worked out in the end. 2v3, nice little clutch coming through. And a well-read setup from Ins after sacrificing his teammate there. But it got the job done. A costly one, but that's another round on the board. And they need a lot of them. They need 8 more. And
yes,
then some.
certainly so. And then some, yeah. Just,
Eight more to
get your
equalise.
8, get your 2, get your victory. Easy 2-0, day's done. Come back tomorrow, right? Alrighty. It is 1 for Grayhound. This situation that we were seeing previously, it was VERTEX in these shoes. Had to try and walk into the game before they could run.
Arguably, let's just, like, we love Vexite, but let's put him on blast because 1's funny, 2, he's on 4 kills, and that's very uncharacteristic for the young man. He's been getting locked down, or maybe Damio's in the room just giving him bloody chest slaps and it's putting him off. Look, we could theorize something, but ADDICT has found a gaping hole next to that molly. Won't go too much further forward, though.
To be fair, Vexite did have a real slow start to nuke as well.
I have a feeling they tried to call a cancel or something. They're looking for something in spawn.
PZ, potential Molotov or Flash or HE.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, I heard votes come through.
Regardless.
It's going to be this mid-aggression, molly towards dig. Grayhound, happy just to hold the ground for now. In comes the XE VERTEX. Going through the 1 point of contact, and there it is, Vexite finally starting to get real aggressive with it. Finds himself 2 from top of default, and it should be a Grayhound round, but we'll see what Malta can do in the 1v3. 40 seconds on the clock to play with, and many members starting to flood his direction. He's just waiting for this bust in from the arch side. Oh, here's that flash coming across. Liazz taps away and finds the head of Malta. So game ain't done just yet.
Yeah, you can see Liazz as well, just real burning on the balcony, but he's able to drop down, taking a bit of damage to 60 HP. But really, it was well done from ADDICT to find a couple of kills. Vexite, you curse his name, and maybe you throw him into the mix to do something. So he's done something, Mac. He's gotten 2. Is it the start of something new?
Yeah, sure.
I wonder. 14-7. Guns are plenty for Grayhound, and for VERTEX, there's a bit of velocity that they can run with here. Although, maybe with the HE grenade landing at your feet, not as much for poor old hazr and ADDICT. Tech-9s and a deagle. Lots of utility to be able to fashion yourself some comfortable positions, but as soon as VERTEX fall from banana, that's where Sicko has a little bit of a gander. He's going to look to lurk around banana as well. So for VERTEX, we'll see what their challenge is going to look like once more at the A site, where Greyhounds do have 3 fully equipped, fully HP'd members.
Liazz in a dangerous spot, and Malta will find him eventually. But Vexite tucked away in the smoke and playing a sneaky game. hazr knows. He must have seen a shadow or something going on there, or just had to figure out where he was sitting. Ali, good timing to slow things down and take another name. So,
Yeah.
let's see if VERTEX rather get this one across the line. There's that equalizer, and ADDICT's real damn low as well. Malta sitting in pit. Headshot. Double dig retake ain't looking too good for Grayhound right now, with Malta stopping the cross to sight. ADDICT able just to set up this hard crossfire, and no util for Grayhound to flush Malta off this line. They found him. It's a nice one. But In's now 1v2 angle yet again. Can he win it? There's that other one, and PZ wrapping around that mid pillar. He's spotted, but it's a nice shot on the techie to get 15 on the board.
Man, Malta has been firing up in these later T-side of rounds. You cannot underestimate what he's been able to deliver for VERTEX. There's Vexite there. And it's put them on 15 now. The difference that potentially, you know, when Alistair finds hazr in that round, the bomb falls to the inside of the bomb site. Had it fallen over in towards Diggity, potentially it could have been a different outcome on the round. But now we have 8 map points for VERTEX to try and send us into the decider of Vertigo. And that's actually the choice of Grayhound, right? They chose to go with it over Anubis. We might get there sooner than we think, Mark. Inns is down for the count. It's banana control for VERTEX. There's no movement from Grayhound over at A either to get some forward information that they should be getting a bit of a rotation if the hit is going to come down over at B.
Yeah. Look, honestly, those flashes were really good for him, but ADDICT just decided, hey, I'm going to spray in case they are swinging. But Ali, with the big green online and a nicely timed molly, is going to split up the troops. That's going to be bombed down to the barbecue, and oh, we see hazr cooking! But what's he cooking's the question now. Man's living, man's pushing, and Malta down to 12. There's still an opportunity, and Ali is just lurking in the smoke and somehow survives by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, both of these guys are real low. The USP would seal the deal, the AWP attempt, but it's all to buy time for Liazz, who has his head removed. And now Alistair for the 1 versus 2 to keep Inferno alive. And it's done. He has been taken out, Max, 16-7. Wow. VERTEX have put a commanding victory on us here.
Hey, big one. Big gap, and a lot of confidence going to be instilled by VERTEX there. So, look, let's see how it goes in the third map of the series. But Inferno, we're